You may think you know the story, but the world is not ready for the truth I'm about to unveil. I have documented my journey piece by piece, date by date, as foretold in 1 Peter 4:17, exposing the judgment that has already begun within the church. My evidence is undeniable, capturing moments of revelation in photos and solid proof. I have looked into the shadows to reveal the rulers of darkness, those very forces that Ephesians 6:12 warns us about, hidden in plain sight. But this story doesn't end with the church, nor does it stop with the powers that hold sway in darkness. There is a path yet unexplored, a story interwoven with the ancient words and promises, the role of Islam, and the Second Coming of Yahusha. This is no sermon, no prophecy spoken for future times. These are true events, accounts of prophecies that have come to pass. Connections, once subtle and veiled, are now glaringly relevant in this season of upheaval and revelation. This is the story I am compelled to tell, not to convince or convert, but to present the truth as I have witnessed it. A story unfolding across borders, beliefs, barriers, relevant to all who dare to look beyond the veil of what we think we know. Let's roll. Earlier this year, something unusual caught my attention on my social media feed. A clip surfaced. It stated,
"Breaking news! Kuwaiti royal prince Abdullah al-Sabah declared his faith in Jesus Christ." Listen to this. Kuwaiti's royal prince Abdullah al-Sabah converted to Christianity from Islam. He stated, "If they kill me because of it, then I will appear before Jesus."
This piqued my interest immediately, so I decided to dig deeper. As I delved, I discovered a strange twist. The Kuwaiti royal family, and by extension the Kuwaiti government, outrightly denied any knowledge of a crown prince named Abdullah al-Sabah. They dismissed claims that he existed, let alone that he had converted to Christianity. Permit me to detour cause the plot thickened. The late Sheikh Nawaf al-Ahmad al-Jabbar al-Sabah, Kuwaiti's former paramount ruler, was someone I had exposed before. One of the rulers of darkness, the handler and I revealed in an Instagram post on December 16, 2023. The date stands out for many reasons, as it happened to be the exact day Sheikh Nawaf passed and was buried according to Islamic rites. Yet, his funeral lacked the traditional royal rites and fanfare expected for someone of his stature. In rapid and unceremonious transition, Sheikh Nawaf was immediately succeeded by his younger half-brother, Sheikh Mishal al-Ahmad al-Jabbar al-Sabah, on that very same day, December 16, 2023. The swift change in leadership, the subdued farewell, each detail seemed to unravel more than he revealed. The story of the Kuwaiti crown prince publicly converting to Christianity raises a series of questions. Where did this narrative begin? Is it truly unprecedented? Or have we seen similar stories before? And most importantly, what's the purpose behind such narratives? What are they meant to achieve? In my view, news like this don't emerge from nowhere. Stories, videos, memes, they often originate from the ruling class, the elites. These narratives are a subtle language they use to communicate their plans, giving us glimpses of what they are doing or what may lie ahead. Some would call it propaganda, a term that isn't always negative. Like any tool, it can be wielded for good or ill, depending on their intentions in that very moment. As for whether this is the first, it certainly isn't. The ruling class has a pattern of broadcasting their intentions, however hidden or symbolic, across all forms of media. Social media posts, skits, movies, music, sports, entertainment, these are their mediums. Through them, they send messages, sometimes directly, other times wrapped in layers of subtlety. And while they communicate, they also distract, flooding platforms with content from influencers and entertainers, diverting attention from the real signals in the noise. So, what's the purpose? Why go through such lengths to seed these narratives? To what end? I believe it's to prepare people for what's coming, as I mentioned before. The elites feel an obligation to reveal their actions, whether through clear signals or subtle hints, because they are aware of the law of karma. In their view, by disclosing their plans, even in veiled ways, they fulfill that karmic requirement and absolve themselves of responsibilities for what unfolds. With this in mind, let's turn to another intriguing event in the same region. What ties this Kuwaiti incident to the one I'm about to discuss is their shared thread: the role of Islam and the Second Coming of Yahusha. Our quest for truth now leads us to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, a nation that stands at the heart of Islam. Saudi Arabia's role in Islam is unmatched, making it not only a political power but also the spiritual center of a faith that spans the globe. The KSA is revered as Islam's spiritual hub because it's home to Mecca and Medina, the religion's two holiest cities. Mecca, with the Kaaba at its center, is the direction Muslims face in prayer, and it draws millions each year for the annual Hajj pilgrimage. Meanwhile, Medina holds the resting place of the Prophet Muhammad, adding further to its sacred aura. As the birthplace of Islam and of the Prophet himself, Saudi Arabia holds profound historical and religious significance. The Saudi monarchy, bearing the title Custodian of the Two Holy Mosques, takes on a weighty responsibility of safeguarding this sacred site. This role, alongside the annual Hajj pilgrimage, anchors Saudi Arabia as the true center of Islam's spiritual and religious world. I'm sure we all recognize the figure in the image you've just seen, but in case you don't, that's Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud, commonly known as MBS, the crown prince and heir apparent to the Saudi throne. He serves as Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and holds the revered title of Keeper of the Two Holy Mosques, a role of immense religious and cultural weight. At this point, it seems only fitting to take a closer look at MBS's ideology, his vision and values, as documented in sources like Wikipedia, reveal much about the direction Saudi Arabia is taking, and perhaps about the future of Islam itself. Muhammad's ideology has been described as nationalist and populist, with a conservative attitude towards politics and a liberal stance on economic and social issues. It has been heavily influenced by the views of his former advisor, Saud al-Qahtani, and the ruler of Abu Dhabi, Mohammed bin Zayed. Let me point this out real quick. Mohammed bin Zayed, popularly known as MBZ, is also the president of the UAE and the most important ruler of darkness, as exposed in my video titled The Rulers of Darkness. Let's proceed. His style of ruling has been described as extremely brutal by journalist Mullah Jibril and authoritarian by Jamal Khashoggi and Theodore Winkler. Mohammed bin Salman has also been championing an Arab nationalist ideology domestically and through foreign policies, with focus on opposing Islamist movements. Emphasis on opposing Islamist movements. MBS is a man known for matching up his words with swift action.
Mohammed bin Salman is making this approaching Ramadan a nightmare for Saudi Arabian Muslims. Mohammed bin Salman has brought so many awkward rules. I've never seen rules as awkward as this. Look at his face. Could you believe he has banned donation to masajids to prevent them from organizing iftar program, which means iftar shouldn't be shared in masajids. How are the poor and the needy going to break their fast? This same man here has banned imam in masajids from making dua concerning Palestine. This man is the real definition of a Zionist. He really needs to be checked. How could you stop a Muslim from making dua for his fellow brother? He has also ordered that azan should be made short and volume should be reduced. This same man has banned the broadcasting of prayers in Saudi Arabia. Is this truly a leader? Do you know what really annoys me? The scholars who came out to talk about these are arrested and put into prison. Bin Salman also stopped children from going to masajid. Subhanallah, how could you stop children from visiting the masjid? What motivation are you giving to the younger ones? This funny man here says if you have no ID card, you won't be allowed to do i'tikaf in the masjid. Subhanallah. For real, I can't keep mentioning these silly rules, cause if I do, we won't finish today, bro.
These are not random actions. MBS knows exactly what he's doing, operating with a vision that goes beyond what most realize. Some of his plans may remain hidden until the coming of Yahusha, but there are enough pieces in plain view for us to start connecting the dots. Let's go back a bit. MBS officially became Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia in 2022, but his influence began much earlier. Since 2017, when he was named Crown Prince, MBS has been reshaping Saudi politics with strategic, decisive moves. One of his earliest and most striking acts was the sweeping purge of Saudi Arabia's political and economic elites, consolidating its power by seizing an estimated $800 billion in assets. This wasn't just about wealth. It was a bold assertion of his dominance over the kingdom. In November of that same year, MBS set a world record by purchasing the most expensive painting ever sold at a public auction, a staggering $450 million for a single artwork. The purchase raised eyebrows worldwide, hinting at an audacious and symbolic nature of his ambitions. Since ascending to Crown Prince, MBS's actions have sent a clear message. He is reshaping Saudi Arabia on his terms, consolidating his authority over political and economic spheres with unprecedented control. This is no casual power grab. It's a recalibration of Saudi Arabia's internal power dynamics. We learned that MBS's political ideology leans towards nationalist and populist principles, blending a conservative approach to politics with a more liberal stance on economic and social issues. Notably, he champions a form of Arab nationalism, a vision that echoes throughout his domestic and foreign policies. A key focus of his vision is his opposition to Islamist movements, a stance he's taking openly, reinforcing it through both words and action. Yet, one particular decision of his stands out, making waves worldwide: his record-breaking acquisition of Salvatore Mundi, a painting that carries profound symbolic weight. It's understandable that someone like MBS, a known art enthusiast, would invest in rare works of art. But out of the countless masterpieces available, he chose Salvatore Mundi, or Savior of the World. Attributed to none other than Leonardo da Vinci, the Renaissance master famed for works like Mona Lisa and The Last Supper. This isn't just any artwork, it's a 14th century masterpiece by a mind who pioneered the Renaissance, blending art with science and theology. MBS's choice speaks volumes, as if there's something deeper he wishes to convey through this specific acquisition. The painting depicts Jesus Christ in anachronistic blue Renaissance attire, making the sign of the cross with his right hand, and a transparent, non-refracting crystal orb in his left, signaling his role as Salvatore Mundi and representing the celestial sphere of the heavens. The painting was sold at auction for a staggering $450.3 million on November 15, 2017, just months after Mohammed bin Salman assumed the role of Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Interestingly, MBS didn't make this purchase in person. Instead, he sent his cousin, Prince Badr, to bid on his behalf. Prince Badr, known for his works with the Abu Dhabi Department of Culture and Tourism, initially claimed that the purchase was for the department. But soon after, reports surfaced revealing the truth. He was merely a stand-in, bidding at the direction of the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman himself. That was a calculated move, one that seemed to hint at a hidden agenda. Why go to such lengths to conceal his role in acquiring Salvatore Mundi? Fast forward to December 5th, 2023. The Handler and I shared a post on Instagram, complete with a carefully chosen soundtrack.
I surrender all to Him. I will ever love and trust.
I also posted the next video on my IG story and highlighted it as NWO.
All to Jesus I surrender. Humbly at His feet I bow. Worldly pleasures all forsaken. Take me, Jesus, me now. I surrender all. I surrender all.
As we wrap up the first part of this narrative, it's clear that the events and revelations presented thus far already offer more than enough for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. The intricate connections, symbolic cues, and undeniable parallels laid out form a compelling case for what's unfolding in real time. For the keen minds, the handwriting on the wall is unmistakable, a call to look deeper and see beyond the surface. But this is just the beginning. The second part promises even more, a smoking gun of evidence that will leave no room for doubt. It's not merely a continuation, but a revelation of the kind that can reshape perspectives, cement convictions, and challenge the way we view the world around us. Stay tuned, the story is far from over.